Says that's impossible that he's undressed. He that thinks here swims. I have no Oh my gosh, tape her mouth up.
Because you gotta look for the bear. Forget about your worries and your strife. I need
I think I'm not going to stop shaking. Sorry.
Alright, I think that's probably enough. Sorry, I'm fixing the steak.
It makes him feel better.
Who's ready?
Okay. You like 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Are you really, Johanna? That early?
Yes.
So doing that in the way.
Oh yeah,
I have it at home.
I love that thing.
I was gonna bring it, but
I can't do it. Okay, after fun. Okay. Okay, thank you.
don't understand the word that I'm out
Hey, in case you didn't know, you have a packed house out there, and so if there's any extra chairs in here, we want to bring them out so we don't have to turn people away.
Hey, Aaron, I had a great idea. Sit him in the catwalk.
Make that more let's see.
My boobs are taped to my chest. There's no way I can do any deep breathing right now.
I thought you had the sports on.
Yeah, plus tape.
I guess that's
My Wookie.
My shirt smells. Like a fish. Like a fish I do.
Oh, I have more cookie.
Way you look tonight.
Ew, gross.
So nasty.
Oh man, just kissed him.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we dealt with it as best we could. We're just going to have to tell the actors to be here. Okay.
Quick plot summary. We land ashore, and then like a whole lot of time goes by, and I end up finding my old friend who was like the Duke. But he was kicked out, and a new Duke took his place, but someone wants to kill me and become king. But then there's the monster on the island that thinks he's king, because he was there first. But then there's the old Duke who landed on the island, and he thinks he's king because he landed there, and of course I'm the real king. And then there's my son who thinks I'm dead, so naturally my son would be king, so he thinks he's king too. And then there's this drunk dude who lands that figures if he kills the old magician that he could be king too. So there's 5 kings on the island, supposedly. But I'm the real king. And the entire play, I'm looking for my son. That's it.
put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel, who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did not against my heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frauding souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know did never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee further. Lend my hand and pluck my magic garment from me. So lie there, my art. Wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision my art so safely ordered, that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as in hair beaten to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sing. Sit down, for thou must now know further.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour is now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? If anything, the image tell me that hath kept to thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hast, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan, and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father was the Duke of Milan, and his only heir, and princess, no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or, less it was we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, will we heed thence, but blessedly hold hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the teen I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you, farther.
My brother and thy uncle called Antonio. I pray thee mark me that a brother should be so perfidious. He, who next thyself of all the world I love, and to him put the management of the state, as at that time for the signores it was the first, and Prospero the prime duke. Being so reputed in dignity, and for the liberal arts without a parallel, those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtopping, new created the creatures that were mine, I say, or changed them, or else new formed them, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts in the state to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy which had hid my princely trunk, and sucked my verdure out on't. Thou attendest not.
Oh, good sir, I do.
I pray thee mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness in the bettering of my mind, with that which, but by being so retired, overprized all popular rates. In my false brother awaked an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood in its contrary as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit, a confidence sans bound. He being thus lorded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, like one who, having the truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own lie. He did believe he was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, he needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man. My library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable, confederates, so dry he was for sway, with the king of Naples, to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed. Alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition and the event, then tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. This king of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, in lieu of the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine from the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honors upon my brother, whereon a treacherous army levied. One midnight, fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness, the ministers for that purpose hurried against me and thy crying self.
Alack, for pity! I not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it over again. It is a hint that brings mine eyes to it.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business which now is upon us. Without that which their story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colors fair painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rafts instinctively have quitted. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to winds whose pity signed back again, did us that loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
A cherubim thou wast that didst preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I have decked the sea with drops full salt, under my burden groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who, being then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich garments, linen, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steaded much. So of his gentleness. Knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes I do prize above my dukedom.
Would that I might ever but see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here, in this island have we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princes can that have more time for vainer hours, and tutors, not so careful.
Heaven thank thee for it. And now I pray you, sir, for 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
Know thus far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to the shore. And by my prescience I do find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if I court not now, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here now, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come. Approach my Ariel, come.
All hail, great master. Grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds. To thy strong bidding task, Ariel, and all his quality.
Hast thou spirit spirit perform to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article, I boarded the king's ship. Now in the beak, now in the waist, on the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, the bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary in sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make the bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident ship.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil could not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt the fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then all afire with me, the king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring and like reeds not hair, was the first man who leapt and cried, "Hell is empty, and all the devils are here!"
Why, that's my spirit. But was this not nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they aerial safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou badest me, in troops have I dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I laid by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in harbor is the king's ship, where once thou calledst me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed Bermudas. There she's hid, all mariners under hatches stowed, whom with a charm, joined to their suffered labor, I have left asleep. Of the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they all have met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the king's ship wrecked, and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work. What is the time of day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by its boat be set most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee which thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody, what is thou canst demand?
My liberty?
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made no mistakes, served without or grudge or grumblings. Thou did promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost, and thinks it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do thee business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch, Sycorax, whom with age and envy was thrown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Argier.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgettest. This damned witch Sycorax, her mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Algiers, thou knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here left by the mariners. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant, and, for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee, by help of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine, within which rift Imprisoned, thou didst painfully remain a dozen years, within which space she died, and left thee there, where thou did vent thy groans as fast as Miliel's strength. Then was this island, save for the son she did litter here, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honored with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
A dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowest what torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl and penetrate the breasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rend an oak, and peg thee in his naughty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command, and do my spriting gently.
Do so. And in 2 days I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea, subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take the shake and hither come in't. Go, hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well, awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields this kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, slave Caliban, thou earth, thou speak.
There's wood enough within!
Come forth, I say, there's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise, wend. Fine apparition, my quaint Ariel, hearken thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth!
Wicked too, there my mother brushed, with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both, a southwest blow on you, and blister you all over.
For this, be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up, urchin shell for that vast of night that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou came first, thou strokest me, made much of me, would give me water with berries in it, teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less, that shine by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle. Fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile. Curse me that I did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light upon you. For I am all the subjects that you have, which once was mine own king. And here you stye me in this hard rock, while you to keep from me the rest of the isle.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with humane care, and lodged thee in my own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Would it have been done, reconcile us with Caliban.
Abhorrent slave! Which any prince of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pity thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other. When thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish, I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had in it which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hast deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you from learning me your language.
Hag seed hence. Fetch us some fuel, and be quick, thou art best, to answer other business. Shruggest thou malice? If thou neglectest, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar, that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No. Pray thee. I must obey. His art is of such power. It would control my damned god Cerberus and make a vassal of him.
Go, slave, hence!
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father's wrack, this music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but 'tis gone. No, it begins again. Remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringed curtain of thine eye bends, and say what thou seest yond.
What is it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Sir, he carries a brave form. But 'tis a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou lustiest was in the wreck, but he's something stained with greed. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll set thee free within 2 days for this.
Most sure the goddess on whom these airs depend. Vouchsafe, my prayer may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I did last pronounce is, oh, you wonder. If you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language? Heavens, I am the best of them that speak the speech. For I the words have spoken.
How? The best? What wert thou thinking of Naples, heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does, I weep. Myself and Naples, who, with mine eyes, never since it ebbed, beheld the king, my father, wrecked.
Alack for mercy.
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter to control thee, if now 'twere fit to do it. At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir, a word. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man I e'er saw. First I e'er sighed for. Pity moved my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin, and you are Christian, not gone forth, I'll make you the queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one word more. They both are in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more. I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this isle as a spy, to win it from me, the Lord Aunt.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing else can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell in it.
Follow. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradle. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till my enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a child, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What? I say, my foot, my tutor? Hush. Put up thy sword, traitor, who makes a show but dares not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick, and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech thee, father.
And hang on my garments.
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou thinkest there are no more such shapes as he, having seen him at Caliban? Foolish wench, to the most of men, this is a Caliban. And they, to him, are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wrack of all my friends, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold dismayed. All corners else of the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come. That was well done, my Ariel. Follow. Hark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father is of a better nature, sir, than he appears by speech. This is unwonted which now came from him.
Thou shalt be as free as mountain winds, but then exactly to all points of my command. not for him.
Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so have we all of joy. For our escape is much beyond our loss. Our woe is common. Every day some sailor's life, the master of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak with us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him over so.
Look, he's winding up the watch with his wits, and by and by he'll strike.
Sir,
What?
when every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer,
$1.
dolor comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purpose.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lord,
Fie, what a spendthrift is he of his tongue.
I prithee spare.
well, I have done. But yet,
He will be talking.
Which of he or Adrian, for a good wager, first begins to crow?
The old cock.
The cockerel.
Dud, the wager.
A laughter. A match.
Though this island seemed to be desert,
So you're paid.
uninhabitable, and almost inaccessible,
Yet,
yet
You could not miss it.
it must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Temperance was a delicate wench.
and as subtle as he most learnedly deliver.
The air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs, or rotten ones.
Or as twere perfumed by a fen.
here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, it does but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
As many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and gloss, being rather new dye than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he
I
lies?
are very closely pockets up his reports.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we put them on first in Africa, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the king of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
Tunis was never graced before with such a paragon to her queen.
Not since widow Dido's time.
Widow? A pox on that. How came that widow in? Widow Dido?
What if he had said widower Aeneas too? Good Lord, I'd take it.
Widow Dido, said you? You make me study of that. She was of Carthage, not of Tunis.
This Tunis, sir, was Carthage.
Carthage?
I assure you, Carthage.
His word is more than a miraculous heart.
He had raised the whole house.
But impossible matter will he make easy next.
I think he'll carry this island home in his pocket and give it to his son for an apple.
Aye, and sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands. Why in good time?
Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis, at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
And the rarest that ever came there.
Hey, I beseech you, widow Dido.
Oh, Widow Dido? Aye, Widow Dido.
Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort.
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. But I had never married my daughter there, for, coming thence, my son is lost. And in my wake, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I never again shall see her. O thou, mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made its meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the waters whose enmity he flung aside and breasted the surge most full of them that met him. His bold head above the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms and lusty stroke to the shore. That o'er his wave-worn bases bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this loss, that you would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eyes, who have cause to wet the grape on it.
Prithee, peace!
Sir, you were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us. The fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, and which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business-making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault is your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness. And time to speak it in. You rub the sword when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
And most traversionly, it is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather. Very foul.
Had I plantation of this isle, my lord,
Sowed it with nettle seed, or docks, or mallows,
and were the king on it, what would I do?
keep being drunk for once of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I should by contraries execute all things. For no kind of traffic would I admit, no name of magistrate, letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, and use of service, none. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard, none. No use of metal, corn, or wine, or oil. No occupation, all men idle, all. And women, too. But innocent and pure, no sovereignty.
He would be king on it. The latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun. Or need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own kind all poison, all abundance to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among the subjects? None, man. All idle. Whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
Oh, save his majesty. Long live Gonzalo.
And do you mark me, sir?
Prithee no more, thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your majesty, and did it to minister occasion to these two gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs, that they always used to laugh at nothing.
It was you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
Would a blow was there given, had it not fallen flat long.
You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue in it 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go back-bowing. Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you. I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Would you like me to sleep? For I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut on my thoughts. I thought I would not do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow, but when it doth, it is a comforter. We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous heaven.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them. It is the quality of the climate. Then why doth it not then our island sink? I find myself not disposed to sleep, nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all, as by consent. They dropped, as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee,
asleep. What is it thou didst say? 'Tis a strange repose to be asleep with eyes wide open, to be standing, speaking, moving, yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lets thy fortune sleep. Die, rather, winkest while thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly, there's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too, if heed me, which to do troubles thee over.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so, to add hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish, while thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed most often do so near the bottom run, by their own fear of sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek do proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuaded, for he's a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade, the king his son's alive. 'Tis as impossible he's undrowned as he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's drowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis? She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life? She that from Naples can have no notes, unless the sun were post, the man in the moon's too slow, till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom we all were sea-swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what to come in yours and mine discharge.
What stuff is this? What say you? 'Tis true my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
Space, whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Clarabelle measure us back into Naples? Keep in Tunis, and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that hath now seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that could rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Lords that can prate as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself can make a cock of and speak chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do! What a sleep is this for your advancement? Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me, much feeder than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they are my men.
But for your conscience?
Aye, sir, where lies that? If 'twere a kite, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel not this deity in my bosom. Toy consciences stand twixt me and Milan, candy be they and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever. While you, doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gotst Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free you from the tribute which thou payest.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, you to the light to fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh. But one word.
My master, through his art, perceives the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, or else his project dies, to keep them living.
While you hear just snoring lie, open our conspiracy his time to take. If a life you keep will care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake.
Then let us both be sudden, and
Good angels, preserve the king!
Oh, wait! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Sir, whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls or rather lions! Did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure as the lore of a whole herd of
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard of coming, and that a strange one too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground. Let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens, keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island.
Lead away!
My lord Prospero shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from fens, bogs, and flats on Prosper fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. The spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. They'll nor pinch me, frighten me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bends. But for every trifle are they set upon me, sometimes like apes, which mow and chatter, and after bite me, and then like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way, mounting their pricks at my footfall. Sometimes am I all wound with adders, with cloven tongues, do hiss me into madness. Lo now, lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing the wood in too slowly. I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Here is neither bush nor shrub to bear up any weather at all. And another storm brewing? I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one! Looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pale fold. What have we here? Ah! A man? Or a fish? Dead? Or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. Kind of not of the newest poor John. Ooh, a strange fish. Were I in England now, as I once was, and had this fish painted, not a holiday fool there, what would give me a piece of silver. A piece of silver? There would this monster make a man, and his strange beast there makes a man. For when they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will little tend to see a dead Indian. Legged? Like a man? And his fins like arms? acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Oh, with your shroud, the dregs of the stormy past.
I shall no more to see. Here shall I die of This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. But here's my comfort.
Touch me and talk to me, for Can he vent trinculos?
I took him to be killed by a feather stroke, but art thou not drowned, Stephano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown, Stephano? I hid me in the dead moon cascade with me for fear of the storm. Oh, Stephano, art thou living? Oh, Stephano, two Neapolitans escaped.
Prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not full.
That's a brave god. Embellish celestial liquor. I shall kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butt of sack, which the sailors heaved overboard. By this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with mine own hands since I was cast ashore.
I'll swear by that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Swear then how thou escapest.
Swim ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck.
Here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stephano, hast thou any more of this?
The whole butt, man! My cellar's in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. Now, Mooncat, how does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush.
Come, swear to that. Kiss the book. I'll furnish it anon with new content. Swear.
By this light, this is a very shallow monster. I feared of him, a very weak monster. The man in the moon, a most poor credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee fresh springs, and I'll kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. By God's speak, you robbed his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy true subject.
Come on, then. Down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. A scurvy monster. Why? I can find it in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But the poor monster's in drink. An abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll get thee fish and wood enough. I'll plague upon the tyrant that I serve. No more stick shall I bear him, but serve thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pignuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young scammels from the rocks. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Fellow Trinculo, the king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo, we'll fill him by and by again.
Farewell, master. Farewell, farewell.
A howling monster. A drunken monster.
Oh, no more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetching firing at requiring, nor scrape treachery, nor wash dish. Bad Caliban has a new master. Get a new man. High day, freedom, high day, freedom, high day, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way. I shall no more to seek to stay. Here shall I die ashore.
and sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would to me be as heavy as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she's 10 times more gentle than her father's crab. He's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such baseness had never like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors most busiest when I do it.
Alas now, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you were enjoined to pile. Pray set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. If you'll sit down, please rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
O most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease. For yours it goes to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda.
Oh, my father, I broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda, indeed the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked, several women. Never any with so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owned and put it to the foil. But you, oh, you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass, my own. Nor have I seen more that I may call man than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skillless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I there to forget.
I am, in my condition, a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient log man.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven! Oh, earth! Bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly, invert what best is boded me to mischief. I, beyond all limit of what else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heaven's rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness, that dare not offer what I desire to give, much less take what I should die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning and prompt me, plain and holy innocence. I am your wife if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be you following me, deny me, but I am your servant whether you will or no.
My mistress, dearest, and I, thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage, ever of freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now, farewell, until half an hour hence.
1,000 times.
surprised with all, but my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time I must perform much business appertaining.
Tell not me! When the bud is out, we'll drink water, not a drop before! Therefore, bear up and boredom! Servant monster, speak to me!
Servant monster? The folly of this island! They say there are but 5 of us upon this isle, and we are 3 of them. And if the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? He were brave monster indeed if they be set in his tail.
My man monster has drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore 35 miles off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you wish. He's no standard.
Will not run, monsieur, monster.
Nor go neither, but you lie like dogs, and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life. Thou be as good, mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. Why, I am in a case to jostle a constable. Was there ever a man who had drunk as much sack as I today? Why, thou debauched fish, thou? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, again. Bite him to death, I pray.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. You prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster's my subject. He shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry will I. Kneel and repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
I say by sorcery he got this eye. For me he got it. A tyrant.
Thou liest.
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! Oh, I would my valiant master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Trinculo, you trouble him any more in his tail. By this hand, I will supplant some of your teeth.
What? I said nothing.
Mum then, and no more.
Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this eye. From me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest. Though this thing darest not,
That's most certain.
thou shalt be lord on it, and I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord. I'll yield him thee asleep. There, thou mayst knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What a pie is this? Thou scurvy patch! I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottles. For when that's gone, he'll drink not but brine from a shoulder with precious on.
Trinculo, run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why wasn't I did nothing. I'll go further off.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Do I so? Take thou that! As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. I'm your wit's end here too. A pop on your bottle. This does sack and jinking do. I'm a raven, you monster.
saw a woman but Sycorax, my dam. She as far surpasses Sycorax, as greatest does least.
Is it so brave a lass?
Aye, my lord, shall be thy bed and wait, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster! I will kill this man, and his daughter and I shall be king and queen! Save our graces! And Trinculo and myself shall be viceroys! Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Give me thy hand. I'm sorry I beat thee, but whilst thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour he'll be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
This will I tell my master.
Oh, this makes me merry. I am full of pleasure. Oh, let us be jocund. Wilt thou troll the catch thou taught me but will ere?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason, any reason. Come, Trinculo, let us sing. Flout 'em and scout 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 'em and
That's not the tune.
What is this same?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
Thou beest a man! Show thyself in thy likeness! Thou beest a devil! Take it as thou list!
Oh, forgive me my sins!
He that dies pays all debts! I defy thee! Mercy upon us!
Art thou afeard?
No, monster! Not I!
Be not afeard. The isle is full of strange noises and sweet airs, which give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears. Sometimes voices that if I then had waked from long sleep would make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds, methought, would open and show riches ready to drop upon me. But if I waked, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing!
When Prospero is destroyed,
Aye, that will be by and by. I know the story.
The sun is going further off. Let's follow and after do our work.
Lead the way, monster. We'll follow. And when I could see this musician, he lays it on.
Wilt come? I'll fall Stefano.
Fire, Larkin. I can go no farther, sir. My old bones ache.
Here's a maze trod indeed through forthrights and meanders. By your patience, sir, I needs must rest me.
Oh Lord, I cannot leave you and myself to fast and weariness, the filling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here, I will put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is drowned who must be straight at find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I am right glad that you so on hope. Do not for one repulse forgo the purpose that you resolve to effect. The next advantage we will take freely. Let it be tonight, for now they are pressed with travel. They cannot nor will not use such vigilance as when they are fret. I say tonight no more.
What strange harmony is this, my good friends? Hark!
Marvelous, sweet music.
keepers. Heavens, what were these?
A living drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns, that in Arabia there's one tree the phoenix throne, one phoenix at this hour reigning there. I'll believe both, and what does else want credit, come to me and I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travelers ne'er did lie, though fools at home condemn them.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me if I should say I saw such islanders? For search these are people of the island, who, though they are of monstrous shape, yet note their manners are more gentle, kind, than of our human generation you shall find many, nay, almost any.
Honest Lord, thou hast said well, for some of you there present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse such shapes, such gesture, and such sound, expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
Praise and departing.
They vanish strangely.
No matter, since they have left their vines behind, for we have stomachs. Will it please you to taste of what is here?
Not I.
Faith, sir, you need not fear. When we were boys, who would believe there were mountaineers dewlapped like bulls, whose throats had hanging out of wallets of flesh, or that there were such men whose heads stood in their breast, which now we find, each putter out of 5 for 1, will bring us good warrant of.
I will stand to and feed, although my last, no matter, since I feel the best is past. Brother, my lord the Duke, stand to and do as we.
You are 3 men of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this lower world and what's in it, the never circuitable sea has caused to belch up you, and on this isle where man doth not inhabit, you amongst men being most unfit to live. I have made you mad, and even with such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of which your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with the mocked-at stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dow that's in my plume. My fellows are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you, that you 3 from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers, delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures, against your peace. Thee of thy son, Alonso, they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you and your ways, whose wrath to guard you from, else here on this isle falls upon your heads, is nothing but part sorrow and a clear light ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel, a grace it had devouring. Of my instruction hast thou nothing based in what thou hast to say. So, with good life and observation strange, my meaner ministers of several kinds have done. My high charms work, and these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power. And in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and the thunder, a deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than air plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But one beat this time. I'll fight your legions over. I'll be that second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work a good time after, now begins to bite the spirits. I do beseech you that are of suppler joints, follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy may now provoke them to.
Follow, I pray you.
Stacy and Natasha are already on. Okay, they just couldn't do it until the intermission. Okay, go, go, go. Okay, guys, I'm eating.
Do it. Oh, this is the sharp one? Ah! Ah! Oh! It's in my eye.
I needed other pizzas to come out at 11, but I wanted to know if she was put that an hour later, like at 12.
Just so you know, Stacy and Natasha couldn't turn on the air conditioning until intermission because of the noise. So that's why it's so hot. I'm sorry.
No wonder!
Schrader told me to turn it off right before the show, so I did.
Bargain.
You know what? And then none of the fans can do
There's so much.
There's thousands of people in the thing, and it's like, oh, yeah, what?
Faster, what you doing?
And we're also.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
I don't want hot up
and
here.
fans
Oh my
might be
God.
gone.
I know, thank God.
You wait for the back and just like,
I got it.
I'm done.
Oh, it's like runny and stuff.
My next scene.
Your one desire, please. When I say I want it that way, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me what I never want to hear you say. I want it that way.
You guys were singing my favorite song what, earlier? You understand that?
Oh yeah.
We gotta do it again. Come
They
on.
were singing some like la la la, some like.
Wow, we did it with all the
Close the doors.
And we have to wait for that, then I have to go like Hubert and Kelly.
I'm mostly a spirit, but in this scene I'm Juno, a goddess, and she and two other goddesses basically put on a play for Ferdinand and Miranda to remind them that they can't have sex until they're married.
Were there people on the stage?
Oh, city. Okay, how about this?
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For I have given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live, who once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here, afore heaven, I ratify this, my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast draw, For thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise, and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then as my gift and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin knot, before all sanctimonious ceremony with full and holy rite be heard, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow, but barren hate, sour-eyed disdain and discord shall strew the union of your bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both. Therefore, take heed. And kindness lamp shall light you.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue and long life, with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion or worser genius can, shall never melt mine honor into lust, to take away the edge of that day's celebration, when I shall think, or Phoebus' steeds are founder, or night kept chained below.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her, she is thine own. What Ariel, my industrious servant Ariel?
What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give thee power, here to this place. Incite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity in mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently?
I, with a twink.
Before you can say come or go, breathe twice and cry, so-so. Each one tripping on his toe will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, both dearly. Do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I can see.
Look thou be true. Do not give dalliance too much rain. The strongest oaths are straw to the fire in the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warrant you, sir, the white, cold, virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardor of my liver.
Well. Now come, my Ariel. Bring a corollary rather than want of spirit. Appear and pertly. No tongue, all eyes.
Ceres, most bounteous lady, thy rich lees of wheat, rye, barley, vetches, oats, and peas. Thy turfy mountains will of nibbling sheep, and flat meads thatched with stover them to keep. Thy banks, with peonate and twilled brims, which spongy April at thy headst be trims, to make cold nymphs chaste crowns. Thy broom groves, whose shadow the dismissed bachelor loves, being last born. Thy coal-clipped vineyard, and thy sea marge, sterile and rocky hard, where thou thyself dost err, the queen of the sky, whose watery arch and messenger am I, bids thee leave these, and with her sovereign grace, here on this grass plot in this very place, to come and sport. Her peacocks fly amain. Approach rich Ceres, her to entertain.
Hail, many-colored messenger, that ne'er dost disobey the wife of Jupiter, and with thy saffron wings upon thy flowers diffuses honeydrops, refreshing showers, and with each end of thy blue bollos crown my busky acres and unshrubbed down, rich scarf to my proud earth. Why hath thy queen summoned me hither to this short grass green?
A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to a state on the blessed lovers.
Tell me, heavenly bone, if Venus or her son, as thou dost know, do now attend the queen, since they did plot the means that dusky disk my daughter got. Her and her blind boy scandal company I have forsworn.
Of her society be not afraid. I met her deity, cutting the clouds toward Paphos, and her son dove-drawn with her. Here thought they to have done some wanton charm upon this man and maid, whose vows are that no bed right shall be paid till Hymen's torch be lighted. But in vain. Mars's hot meaning is returned again. Her waspish-headed son has broke his arrows, swears he will shoot no more, but play with sparrows, and be a boy right out.
Highest queen of state, great Juno comes. I know her by her gait.
How does my bounteous sister? Go with me to bless this twain, that they may prosperous be, and honored in their issue. Honor, riches, marriage, blessing, long continuous and increasing, holy joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you. Earth's increase, boys and plenty, barns and garners never empty, vines with clustering bunches growing, plants with goodly burden bowing. Spring come to you at the farthest, in the very end of harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Ceres' blessing so is on you.
This is a most majestic vision, and harmonious charmingly. May I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Let me live here ever. So rare a wonder, father, and a wise makes this place paradise.
Sweet now, silence. Juno and Ceres whisper seriously. There's something else to do. Hush and be mute, or else our spell is marred.
You nymphs, called naiads of the wintering brooks, with your sedged crowns and ever harmless looks, leave your crisp channels, and on this green land, answer your summons, Juno does command. Come, temperate nymphs, and help to celebrate a contract of true love. Be not too late. You sunburned sicklemen of August weary, come hither from the furrow and be merry. Make holiday, your rye straw hats put on, and these fresh nymphs encounter every one in country footing.
Us
confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. Well done, avoid, no more.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never until this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And, like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and, like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wrack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I'm vexed. Bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you will please, retire into my cell and there repose. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish you peace.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Ariel, come.
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
We must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander. I thought to have told thee of it when I presented Ceres, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked up their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed, through tooth briars, sharp furzes, prickled gorse and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last, I left them in the filthy mantle pool beyond your cell, there dancing up to the chins that the foul lake o'erstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. The trumpeter in my house, go fetch it hither, for stale to catch these thieves. A devil, a born devil, on whose nature nurture could never stick, on whom my pains, humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And, as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to roaring. Come, hang them on the line.
Bring me now. Tread softly. The blind moment not hear a footfall. We now are near his cell.
Monster! You're a fairy! Which you say is a harmless fairy! Done little better than play the jack with us!
Monster, I do smell the all horse piss, at which I know is a great indignation.
It was mine! Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, book you!
Thou wert but a lost monster!
Good my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool?
There's not only disgrace and dishonor in that, monster, but an infinite loss!
That's more to me than I would see. This is your harmless fairy, monster.
I will fetch up my bottle, going your ears for my labor.
Pretty my king, be quiet. and on it. We shall all lose our time and be turned to barnacles. Or apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay your fingers. Help to bear this away where my hogshead whineth, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this. I am this. And this. My project gathered to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
Not the 6th hour. At which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together, in the same fashion you gave in charge. All prisoners, sir, in the lime grove that weather fends your cell. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide, all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly, him that you term, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops down eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions? And shall not myself, one of their own kind, who relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I'm struck to the quick, yet in my nobler reason against my fury do I take part. Their rare action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the soldiers of my charms doth extend not a frown further. Go release them. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites, and you, whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azure vault, set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oaked and let them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, work mine end upon their senses of this airy charm's for. I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. Now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spell stopped. Holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace. And as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clear reason. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver, and a loyal sir to him thou followest, I'll pay thy graces home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a further in the act. Thou art pinchbeck now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who, with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will swiftly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me. Ariel, fetch me that hat and rapier in my cell. I will discase me, and myself present as I was sometime Milan. Quickly, spirits, thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bee sucks, there's a guy. On the cowslip's bell I lie. There I couch when owls do cry. On the bat's back I do fly. After summer, merrily, merrily, merrily shall I live now under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Why, that's my quaint Ariel. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have freedom. So, to the kingship, invisible as thou art, there thou shalt find the mariners asleep under the hatches, the master and the boatswain being awake, and force them to this place, and presently, I prithee.
I breathe the air before me, and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body. And to thee in thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
But thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrong, but how should Prospero be living, and here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be confined or measured.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my grace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness's frown upon you and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No! For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest faults, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, whom 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore. For I have lost, how sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son, Ferdinand.
I'm woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace, for the like loss, I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, and supportable to make the dear loss of I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh, heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you exert up?
In this last tempest. I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much fire that they devour the reason, and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath. But howsoever you have been jostled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very Duke, which was thrust forth from Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you were racked, was landed to be the Lord Aunt. No more yet of this. For 'tis a chronicle of day by day, not a relation of a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects none abroad. Pray you look in. My dukedom, since you have hidden me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content ye, as much as me, my dukedom.
And second father, this lady makes him to me.
I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say, amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife where he himself was lost. Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves, when no man was his own.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen. Oh, look, sir, here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Now, blasphemy, that swearest grace overboard, not an oath on shore? Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
The best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and near and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you here?
If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I would strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and, how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where, but even now, with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and mo diversity of sounds, all horrible, we were awake, straightway at liberty, where we, in all our trim, freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master capering to her, on a trice so please you, even in a dream, where we divided from them and were brought moping hither.
Wast well done, bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as ever men trod. There is, in this business, more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At pick leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable, of every these happened accidents. Till then, be cheerful, and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit. Go free Paladin and his confederates. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? You do yet forget some fellows of your company that you remember not.
Every man ship for all the rest! Let no man take care for himself, for all his good fortune! Coraggio, bully monster! Coraggio!
If these be true spies, which I wear on my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, these be brave spirits. How fine my master is. I'm afraid he'll chastise me.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy them?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable. Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These 3 have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted them to take my life. 2 of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is not this Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Already wine.
And Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? Say, how camest thou into this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last. I fear me will never out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing.
What now, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not! I am not Stefano, but a cramp!
You would be king of this isle, Sirrah?
I should have been a sore one then.
This is as strange a thing as ever I looked on.
He is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Go, Sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will, and I'll be wise hereafter, and seek for grace. Whoa, what a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god, and worship that dull fool.
Go, slave, hence.
Bestow your luggage where you found it.
Stole it, rather.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take a rest for this one night, which, part of it, I'll waste with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away. The story of my life, and the particular accidents gone by since I came to the isle. And in the morn, I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I hope to see the nuptial of these, our dear beloved solemnized. And thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the year strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. Ariel, ship, that is thy charge. Then to the elements be free, and fare thou well. Please you, draw near. Now are my charms all overthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free.
I'm sailing away
Oh man, that was great.
Hey, there you go, Lester. 1, 2, 3.
Alright, okay, now let's get one.
So how do you think it went?
Rocked so hard forever. Rock and roll, Caliban, racism, okay? And like that Prospero guy, like at the end I was like, how are you gonna talk about my mom and my faith the whole play and then be like, I love you at the end? And everybody, I don't get it. Why does everybody else have such a happy ending? And I'm the only one who's like a slave at the end still. Ariel's free, the king's free, he gets his dukedom, his daughter gets a husband, everything's all good except for me. No, why? Why? I have to go in and wear an apron with a little tiki thingy and touch up and dust everything, and they're like, hey, and I'm like, All the charms and cigarettes told the Beatles, bats light upon you. Thank you. That's all I have to say.